Hey guys, today I have for you 100 UK traffic signs. So let's get started. Sign number 1. This is a blue rectangular sign. And the sign means 10 miles to the next motorway service area. You will find this sign after a junction, and the sign shows the distance that you have to travel to reach the next services. Next services meaning a petrol station, a place to eat, a restaurant, maybe a hotel or some place to sleep as well. And let's move on to our next sign, which is this. Again, we've got another rectangular sign, and this one is white in color. And the sign means 100 yards to a junction ahead, which is controlled by a stop sign. And the sign indicates that the drivers are approaching a junction controlled by a stop sign and is 100 yards ahead. Next sign. This is another rectangular sign and it's green in color. The sign means 100 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a non-primary route. This sign is a countdown marker on the approach to a roundabout or an exit from a non-primary route. There may be 3 signs spaced at equal intervals along the approach. This sign, which has one white bar, indicates that it is 100 yards away. And our next sign is this. This one is very similar to our previous sign, but this is blue in color and it has a white bar. The sign means 100 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a route. This countdown marker will be placed to the side of the motorway and shows that you are 100 yards from the start of a deceleration lane. Sign number 5 is the following. Very similar to the previous one. It's also blue in color and with a white bar. However, this bar is in the opposite direction of the previous sign. And this sign indicates 100 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a route. These countdown markers are found at the exit from motorway. And at approaches to concealed level crossings, white backed markers with red bars may be used. Even though this will be placed at equal distances, the bars do not represent 100-yard intervals, so please don't confuse them. The ones which you'll find at the crossings, remember that they that they are white in color and they have a red bar. Next sign. And this is another rectangular green sign with a white bar. And the sign means 100 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a primary route. This is a countdown marker on the approach to a roundabout or to an exit from a primary route. There may be 3 signs spaced at equal intervals along the approach. This one, which has one white bar, only indicates that the approach is 100 yards away. And this is our next sign. Again, is rectangular in shape and it's green in color, but this sign has two white bars. And this sign means 200 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a non-primary route. And again, this is also a countdown marker on the approach to a roundabout or an exit from a non-primary route. There may be 3 signs spaced at equal intervals along the approach. This sign in particular with 2 white bars, sorry for the error in the text on your screen. So this one with 2 white bars indicates that the approach is 200 yards away. So maybe it's easier for you to remember 1 bar means 100 yards, 2 bars mean 200 yards. And our next sign is this. This is another rectangular sign, blue in color, and this one has 2 white bars, which means 200 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a route. This countdown marker will be placed to the side of the motorway and show that you are 200 yards from the start of a deceleration lane. And this sign is very similar to our previous signs, but if you pay attention, the bars, they are in the opposite direction. This sign means 200 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a route. You will find this countdown marker at an exit from the motorway. Each bar represents 100 yards to the exit. So this particular sign is 200 yards to the exit. And our sign number 10 is the following. We have another rectangular sign. This time it's green in colors with 2 white bars in the opposite direction than our previous sign. And this sign means 200 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a primary route. This is a countdown marker again, and it's found on the approach to a roundabout or to an exit from a primary route. And the primary route would be a motorway. There may be 3 of these signs placed at equal intervals along the approach. This particular sign with 2 white bars indicates that the approach is 200 yards away. And our next sign is this. This is a very interesting sign. I'm not sure that I've come across this particular sign in my travels, if you will. But anyway, this is another rectangular sign and it's blue in color. And the sign means 200 yards to escape lane ahead for vehicles unable to stop on a steep hill. So those vehicles unable to stop on a hill are instructed of the direction to take if they need to use an escape lane to stop on a steep hill, which is located 200 yards in front. This may happen because of brake failure, but escape lanes are designed to slow out of control vehicles down. So it's basically kind of like an emergency lane, if you will, or if you think that you can remember it better this way. Think about escape like you have to get away from something, right? Okay, next sign is this. Very similar to our previous sign. Again, it's rectangular in shape and blue in color, but please pay attention because there is a slight difference here. So this particular sign means 200 yards to escape lane to the left for vehicles unable to stop on a steep hill. Vehicles unable to stop on the hill are instructed to use the left turn that is 200 yards ahead if they need to use an escape lane to stop on a steep hill. This may happen, like I mentioned, with our previous signs because of a brake failure, but escape lanes, they are generally designed to slow down vehicles which are out of control. And our next sign is this. Another rectangular sign, green in color, and this time you have 3 white bars on it. This particular sign means 300 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a non-primary route. This is another countdown marker on the approach to a roundabout or an exit from a non-primary route. There may be 3 signs spaced at equal intervals along the approach. This sign in particular, with the 3 white bars, indicates that the approach is 300 yards away. So basically, when you have these 3 signs, you will first have the 300 yards, then the 200 yards, then the 100 yards. And moving on to our next sign, which is this. Very similar to the previous one, however, this one is blue in color. And this one means 300 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a route. This countdown marker will be placed to the side of the motorway and show that you are 300 yards from the start of a deceleration lane. And our sign number 15 is this one. Again, very similar to the previous sign because it's blue in color. However, if you pay closer attention, the white bars on this sign are in the opposite direction to the previous sign. And this sign means 300 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a route. And our next sign is this, very similar to the previous one, but this one is green in color. And this one means 300 yards to a roundabout or to the next point at which traffic may leave a primary route. This is another countdown marker on the approach to a roundabout or an exit from a primary route. There may be 3 signs which are spaced at equal intervals along the approach. This one with the 3 white bars indicates that the exit is 300 yards away. And let's have a look at our next sign, which is this one. This is another rectangular sign, and this time is white in color. And this sign means 400 yards ahead to hazard. This sign indicates the distance to a hazard ahead and will be accompanied by another sign with an image indicating the nature of the hazard. And let's have a look at our next sign. This is another rectangular shaped sign, white in color. And this sign means 50 yards to a junction ahead, which is controlled by a give-way sign. There is a give-way sign being used to control a junction which is 50 yards ahead. Next question. Or should I say next sign, which is this. Again, you have another rectangular sign, white in color. This one means, as it says on the sign, accident ahead. Because of an accident in the road ahead, drivers should continue with caution and they should also adjust their speed accordingly. And sign number 20 is the following. This is a triangular shaped sign, white in color with red. So I think that you already know by now, triangular signs equal warnings, right? But let's see what this sign means. This sign means accompanied horses or ponies are likely to be in or crossing the road ahead. The road ahead is likely to be used by accompanied ponies and horses who may need to cross, so you should approach with caution. And our next sign is this. This is another rectangular sign and is white in color with some black on it as well. And this sign means additional traffic joining from the left ahead, non-primary route. This sign alerts drivers on the slip road that they will be joining the main carriageway of a non-primary route ahead, leading to the addition of a lane. And our following sign is very similar to our previous sign. However, this one is white in color with green. And let's see what this sign actually means. It means that additional traffic lane is joining from the left ahead. This sign will be displayed on a slip road and shows that you will be joining the main carriageway to the left, creating an extra lane. And our next sign is this. This one is again another rectangular sign, and this is blue in color with some white on it as well. And this sign means additional traffic lane joining from the left ahead in 200 yards. Traffic on the main carriageway has priority over the joining traffic. This sign warns you that in 200 yards, an extra lane of traffic will merge from the left. You have priority over vehicles joining the motorway. However, please proceed with caution. And our next sign is this. This is another rectangular sign and is white in color. It's got some black as well. And this sign means additional traffic lane joining from the left ahead, non-primary routes. This sign alerts drivers on the main carriageway of a non-primary route that a slip road is joining ahead from the left, leading to the addition of a lane. A panel indicating the distance before this happens may be shown alongside this sign. Sign number 25. Another rectangular sign, green in color. And this sign means additional traffic lane joining from the left in 200 yards. Traffic on main carriageway has priority over joining traffic from the right-hand lane of the slip road, primary routes. This sign alerts drivers on the main carriageway of a primary route that a two-lane slip road is joining ahead from the left, leading to the addition of one lane in 200 yards. Traffic on the main carriageway has priority over the merging traffic. And let's see our next sign, which is this sign. And this sign means additional traffic lane joining from the right ahead. This sign will be displayed on the main carriageway and shows that the slip road will be joining in the main carriageway from the left, thus creating an extra lane. And our next sign is this. You've got another rectangular green sign. And this sign means additional traffic lane joining from the right ahead. Traffic in the right-hand lane joins the main carriageway. Traffic on the main carriageway has priority over joining traffic. Primary route. This sign alerts drivers on the two-lane slip road that they will be joining the main carriageway of a primary route ahead, leading to the addition of one lane. Traffic on the main carriageway has priority over the merging traffic. And let's have a look at our next question. Or should I say sign. This one is another rectangular sign, and this time is blue in color. And this particular sign means additional traffic lanes joining from the right ahead. Traffic on the main carriageway has priority over joining traffic. This sign would be displayed on the slip road and shows that the right-hand lane will be merging with the acceleration lane and the left-hand lane will be joining the main carriageway as a lane gain. And our next question or sign is this, which is another rectangular sign, blue in color. This sign means advance warning of a mandatory height restriction ahead. And if you remember your signs, round signs, mandatory, red, mandatory. Okay? So let's see what we know about this sign. This sign provides road users prior warning of a compulsory height restriction on the route ahead. So if you pay attention to this particular sign, in the round shape you have 4.4 meters, so this is the height. And sign number 30 is the following. Another rectangular shaped sign, white in color. This sign means adverse camber on a bend or roundabout. There is an adverse camber on a roundabout or bend. An adverse camber is where part of the road surface is higher than another part of the road, which may cause vehicles to wobble. And let's have a look at our next sign. Another rectangular white sign. This sign means maximum speed of 30 miles per hour advised at a bend or other hazard. And sign number 32 is this sign, which is a triangle, white and red. And this sign means agricultural vehicles likely to be in the road ahead. There is a risk that farm traffic and agricultural vehicles will be using the road ahead, which may be slow-moving and difficult to pass. Sign number 33. This is another sign, white in color. And this sign means all vehicles prohibited during the time indicated except for access. During the stated time, in this particular case between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., all vehicles are prohibited from using this route unless using it for access only. And let's have a look at our next sign, which is this. This is a round white and red sign. And the sign means all vehicles are prohibited except for pedal cycles being pushed by pedestrians. All vehicles other than pedal cycles that are being pushed by pedestrians are prohibited from using this route. Sign number 35. This is another rectangular sign, white and black. And the sign means all vehicles prohibited from Place Street during the period indicated except for access. During the stated period, in this case between 8 a.m. to sunset, all vehicles are prohibited from using Place Street for any reason other than for access. And our next sign is this big and bold round red sign. And this sign means another train or tram car may be about to pass over the level crossing. This sign indicates that another train or a tram car is potentially about to cross a level crossing. And our next sign is the following. This is another white and black sign with a red bar. And this sign means appropriate traffic lanes for different maneuvers at a junction after a break in a bus lane. At an upcoming junction, there will be a break in the bus lane. Where this happens, other traffic may use the left-hand lane for turning left only. And our next sign is this, a rectangular blue colored sign. And the sign means appropriate traffic lanes for different maneuvers at a junction ahead. This sign shows which lane you should be in if you wish to perform any of the displayed maneuvers. And our next sign is the following. This one is a square brown sign. And the sign means tourist symbol for England and Wales, house of historic or architectural importance. So please remember, brown color is tourist. And the sign shows the tourist symbol for a historic house which may be of architectural interest in England and Wales. Sign number 40. This sign is another square white and black sign, and I'm quite sure a lot of you know already what it means. But anyway, the sign means area in which cameras are used to enforce the speed limit regulations. This sign warns drivers that speed cameras are in use in this area to enforce speed limits. And our next sign is this, which is a big, bright red rectangular sign. And it's quite obvious what it means by what it says on it. So the sign means the area is infected by animal disease ahead. The area you are entering is an area with infected animals and where you might find animals that are a potential rabies risk. Next sign. This one is another square brown sign. And the sign means tourist symbol for England only, museum or art gallery. This sign shows the tourist symbol for a museum or an art gallery, but only in England. And our next sign is this rectangular blue sign. This sign means availability of motorway service areas ahead with distances and names of operators. This sign shows the next service areas, including those on other motorways if they can be reached by junction before the second service area. It includes the name of the operators. And let's have a look at our next sign, number 44, and this one is a rectangular white sign. The sign means length of road where two cameras are used to measure the average speed of a vehicle between 2 points. This sign marks a stretch of road where two cameras measure the average speed of vehicles between 2 points. And sign number 45 is this. This one is another rectangular white sign. And the sign means bay reserved for loading and unloading by goods vehicles. This sign tells you that this particular bay is for goods vehicles to load and unload. No other vehicles may be parked here. Next sign is this. This one is a square white sign, and it means bay reserved for loading and unloading by goods vehicles during the period indicated. This sign will tell you that this bay is for goods vehicles to load and unload during the times shown. In this particular sign, between Monday to Saturday, between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. So during this time, no other vehicles may park there. And our next sign is this. This is another rectangular sign, white and yellow. And the sign means the bay is reserved for loading and unloading by goods vehicles during the period indicated and waiting prohibited during the period indicated. Sign number 48 is this. This is another square brown sign. The sign means tourist symbol for England and Wales. In this particular case, beach. This sign shows the tourist symbol for a beach in England and in Wales. And our next sign is the following. Triangular shaped sign, white and red. The sign means bend ahead to the right. This sign warns that the road ahead has a right-hand bend in it that may require you to slow down. Sign number 50. This is a rectangular brown sign, and the sign means tourist symbol for England and Wales, in this case a bird garden. This sign will show the tourist symbol for a bird garden in England and Wales. Next sign. This is a rectangular rounded white sign. And it means blasting danger ahead. There is a danger of blasting ahead, so you may hear a sudden loud noise. This could be near a mine, a quarry, or at a construction zone. Next sign is this. This is another rectangular white sign, and the sign means blind children are likely to cross the road ahead. Drivers are warned that they are approaching an area where there is a higher likelihood of blind children crossing the road, so they should adjust their speed down accordingly in case they need to stop suddenly. Next sign is this. This is another rectangular white sign, and the sign means blind pedestrians likely to cross the road ahead. Very similar to the other sign, but this time it applies to blind pedestrians in general, not only children. Drivers, again, are warned that they are approaching an area where there is a higher likelihood of blind people crossing the road, so they should adjust their speed down accordingly in case they need to stop suddenly. And our next sign is this, another rectangular white sign, and this sign means blind summit ahead. A blind summit is ahead in the road where, at the top of a hill, drivers may lose sight of the road as they go over the top of the hill. Sign number 55 is this. This is a square brown sign, and the sign means a tourist symbol for England and Wales, in this case 10-pin bowling. This sign shows the tourist symbol for 10-pin bowling in England and Wales. Our next sign is this. This one is another square white sign, and the sign means bus lane on road at junction ahead. From this sign, drivers know that a bus lane lies ahead at an upcoming junction. Next sign. This one is another square, but this time a blue color sign. And the sign means bus lane with traffic proceeding from both ways. Reminder for pedestrians. This sign marks a bus lane. It also includes a reminder for pedestrians that the traffic in this lane is approaching from both directions. Hence, it says on the sign, look both ways. And our next sign is this, which is a square blue sign and also a rectangle white sign. And this sign means parking place for buses. This sign marks places where only buses may park with no time limits. And let's have a look at our next sign, which is another square white sign, or is it a rectangle? This sign means a stopping place for buses. This sign labels places where buses may stop, allowing passengers to board or leave the vehicle. Sign number 60. This is a square brown sign. This sign means stopping place for buses used for carrying tourists to allow passengers to take photographs. This is a sign to identify a place where only tourist buses may stop, allowing their passengers to take photos. So this particular sign tells you that you can take photos only between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. or it's a photo stop only from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Next sign, we have another rectangular white sign, and this sign means buses and cycles excluded from restriction or prohibition conveyed by associated sign. This sign explains that any prohibition outlined in an accompanying sign does not apply to either buses or cycles. Next sign. This is a round sign, a blue in color, and it also has a rectangular white colored sign. And this sign means route for use by buses and cycles only. This sign marks a route which only buses and cycles are permitted to use. Next sign. This one is a round blue sign. The sign means route for use by buses and tram cars only. This sign marks a route which only buses and tram cars are allowed to use. And let's have a look at our next sign. Another round blue sign. This sign means it's a route for use by buses, pedal cycles and taxis only. This sign marks a route which only buses, cycles and taxis are allowed to use. And let's move on to sign number 65. This is a rectangular blue in color sign. The sign means entrance to bus station, depot or garage. This sign tells us that certain entrances are prohibited to all traffic except for buses. These signs can be seen at the entrances to bus garages, bus stations or bus depots. And our next sign is this. We have another rectangular white in color sign. And the sign means bypass of cattle grid for horse-drawn vehicles. This sign shows horse-drawn vehicles an alternative route for them to use at a cattle grid. And our following sign is this, which is a rectangular brown sign. And this sign means camping and caravan site 300 yards ahead. This sign shows that a camping and a caravan site is ahead, indicating the distance. Either the tent or the caravan symbol may be left out to reflect which facilities are available. The name of the site may also be shown on this sign. And our next sign is the following. Another brown color sign. This sign means camping and caravan site 300 yards in the direction indicated. The sign marks the approach to a camping and caravan site, indicating the distance and the direction as well. Either the tent or the caravan symbol may be left out to reflect which facilities are available. Next sign is a square brown sign, and the sign means Tory symbol for England and Wales, castle of historic or architectural interest in this particular case. This sign shows the Tory symbol for a castle in England and Wales. And let's have a look at sign number 70. This is another rectangular white in color sign. The sign means supervised cattle crossing 200 yards ahead. This sign warns that there is a cattle crossing ahead in 200 yards that is supervised. Next sign. This is a triangular white and red sign. And the sign means cattle grid ahead. The road ahead is crossed with a cattle grid. Next sign. We have another triangular white and red sign. This sign means cattle likely to be in the road ahead. Cattle are a possible risk on the road ahead, so drivers should continue with caution. Next sign. We have a square yellow sign here, which means center lane of a 3-lane single carriageway road closed. This sign indicates that the central lane of a single carriageway with 3 lanes is closed for use by users of the road. Next sign is this. This is another square blue sign, and the sign means Vehicle and Operator Services Agency checkpoint ahead. This is a sign to inform drivers that they are approaching a checkpoint for the Vehicle and Operator Services Agency. Sign number 75. We have here a rectangular blue colored sign. The sign means that drivers should check their distance from the vehicle in front. This sign is usually found by chevron markers and encourages drivers to check how far away they are from the vehicle in front of them. Next sign. This is another rectangular white in color sign this time. And the sign means testing of child cyclists ahead. This plate may be shown alongside signs indicating cycle routes ahead. This one warns that the testing of child cyclists may take place ahead. Next sign. This is another rectangular white sign. And the sign means training of child cyclists ahead. This plate may be shown alongside signs indicating cycle routes ahead. This one warns that the training of child cyclists may take place ahead. Next question, or rather sign, this is a triangular white and red sign. The sign means children going to or from school or playground ahead. The area ahead is near a school or a playground where children and parents may be going to or from, so please drive with caution. Next sign is another rectangular, but this time black sign. And this sign means closure of all lanes of a 4-lane carriageway ahead. This light signal will be suspended above all lanes of traffic and show that all 4 lanes are closed. Sign number 80. This is another rectangular black sign. This sign means closure of all lanes of a 3-lane carriageway ahead. This light signal will be suspended above all lanes of traffic and show that all 3 lanes are closed. If you pay attention to this particular sign, it will show you the amount of lanes. In this particular case, you've got the dots there which form a line, and you've got 3 lines, so 3 bars, so these are 3 lanes. And let's have a look at our next sign. This is another rectangular black sign, and this sign means closure of both lanes of a 2-lane carriageway ahead. This light signal will be suspended above all lanes of traffic and show that both of the 2 lanes are closed. Next sign is this. It's similar to the previous sign. It's rectangular in shape and black in color. However, this time, as you can see, the lights are amber rather than red as in the previous signs. So this particular sign means closure of 1 lane of a 4-lane carriageway ahead. This light signal again will be suspended above a lane of traffic and shows that the left-hand lane ahead is closed, reducing a 4-lane carriageway to 3 lanes. Next sign, we have another rectangular blue sign. This particular sign means closure of 1 lane of a 3-lane carriageway ahead. This light signal will be again suspended above a lane of traffic and shows that the left-hand lane ahead is closed, reducing a 3-lane carriageway to 2 lanes. Next sign, we have another black rectangular sign, and this sign means closure of right-hand lane of a 2-lane carriageway ahead. This light signal will be suspended above a lane of traffic and shows that the left-hand lane ahead is closed, reducing a 2-lane carriageway to 1 lane. Sign number 85, and here we have another rectangular black color sign. This sign means closure of 2 lanes of a 3-lane carriageway ahead. This light signal will be suspended above a lane of traffic and shows that 2 lanes of traffic are closed, reducing a 3-lane carriageway to 1 lane. Next sign, we have a rectangular big red sign here, and this sign means commencement point of a newly imposed 30 miles per hour speed limit, which is contiguous to an existing 30 miles per hour speed limit. A temporary sign to signal the new extension of an existing 30 miles per hour speed limit in place of a previously higher speed limit. Next sign is this. I'm quite sure that a lot of you are familiar with this sign, but anyway, the shape is round and it's in red and white. So let's see what this sign means. Road congestion charge zone reminder. And our next sign is this, which is another rectangular, or is it square, yellow sign. And this sign means continuous prohibition on waiting by vehicles with an exemption for taxis during the period indicated. So if you have a look at this particular sign, accept taxis between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. This sign tells you that no stopping is allowed at any time for any reason, with the exception of taxis who may wait during the displayed times. Next sign is this. This one is a rectangular yellow sign, and the sign means continuous prohibition on waiting except for loading and unloading for the period indicated. So here is between the 1st of May and 30th of September. The sign tells you that you are not allowed to wait at any time between the dates shown. Loading and unloading, however, is allowed during this time. Sign number 90. Here we have another rectangular yellow sign. And this sign means continuous prohibition on waiting except loading and unloading on the footway. This sign tells you that you must not wait on the footway at any time. Next sign is this, another square yellow sign. And this sign means continuous prohibition on waiting except loading and unloading on the verge. This sign tells you that you must not wait on the verge at any time. Next sign, another square yellow sign. And this sign in particular shows continuous prohibition on waiting except for loading and unloading on verge or on the footway. This sign tells you that you must not wait on the verge or footway at any time. Next sign. This is a square blue sign this time. And the sign means contraflow bus lane, which pedal cycles may also use with traffic approaching from the right. This is a reminder for pedestrians. This sign marks a contraflow bus lane which only buses and pedal cycles are allowed to use. It also includes a reminder for pedestrians that the traffic in this lane is approaching from the right. Next sign. Here we have a rectangular blue sign. And this particular sign means contraflow bus lane. The sign indicates a contraflow bus lane beside two lanes available for other traffic, represented by the two arrows on the left. Sign number 95 is this. We have another rectangular blue in color sign. This sign means contraflow cycle lane. The sign marks a contraflow cycle lane with two lanes available for other traffic, indicated by the two arrows on the left. Next sign. This one is a square sign, yellow in color, white in color. And the sign means entrance to a controlled parking zone. This sign tells you that you are entering a zone where waiting is prohibited. Next sign is this. This is a rectangular white colored sign with red bars. Remember the white sign with red bars? Let's see if you can remember. So the sign means countdown marker to railway or tramway level crossing. This is a marker which indicates countdown that reached 300 yards to a level crossing for trains or tram cars. Next sign is another rectangular white and red sign. And this sign means countdown marker to railway or tramway level crossing. And of course that the sign indicates 200 yards. And this is the next sign, which is another square brown sign. The sign means tourist symbol for England and Wales. In this particular case, a country park. This sign shows the tourist symbol for a country park in England and in Wales. And now we have reached our last question for today's video, which is question 100, or rather sign 100. And let's have a look. So here we have a rectangular shaped sign, blue in color. And this sign means county boundary. So this is a county boundary sign. This sign shows a county border or the name of a river. Thank you guys so much for taking an interest in this. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit those notification bells to make sure that you are notified whenever I post a new video. And I will see you in the next one. Please take care and stay safe. Bye.